video explaining the connection and development between signals and mental perceptions, what some may call mental illness, within the structure that mental illness is perceived. So this is what happens. Like an aerial, your skeleton structure is technology that you've not been told is technology. Stay with me on this. Right? So what happens is your signal from your aerial signals picked up and with the thoughts and perceptions, right? Now, as the strength, and this is the important part, right? Signals, the different strengths of your aerials were made differently depending on many things, right? Let's keep it simple. Your aerial, your skeleton structure has different densities, right? Different strengths for receiving and sending. The strength of the signals that are being sent out, and initially we had, we're up to sort of 5G now, but this is how it affects your aerial. Is if your aerial is weaker, it starts to crumble. Therefore, your internal structure of your mental capacity, right, to process the signals weakens. On the outside, this looks like mental illness. It's not. It's a breakdown of the internal structure of your aerial, displaying it internally, right, its strengths and weaknesses in processing the frequencies, the signals and the data that are all around. Now, the combat in some ways, right, in some ways you get out talking to people. It's like an outlet, right? It lets out some of the pressure, right, a little bit. In other ways, give you tablets, medication, right, to medicate, right? And what this does is it's like it clings to your aerial and tries to make it denser, but it's in no way the same material, right, as your aerial structure, as the material that your aerial is made of, right? So it's a very temporary sort of fix, right? And then what happens as the signals get stronger, right, and as they ramp up the possibly 5 to 6G, you know, it's the strength of the signal. What's going to happen is this masking over, right, to try and on that with a lot of fluoxetine for antidepressants and there's many other sort of chemicals and medicines that throw at the perception of mental illness, right, or mental the well-being, or the being of a well, trying to fill it with density for the signal. It's not like your natural strength. And this is one of the big risks, is that you get to a point where the signal is so strong that this temporary sort of medication that's been built up around your natural aerial just all of a sudden just goes too strong, right? And then the temporary fixes fall away, and then it attacks the internal structure because it's just too strong and there's been temporary things keeping it in place, and that's when you have a breakdown. The signals that are flying about are too strong for your internal aerial structure, and it just breaks down. If that's it on the outside, what we call a mental breakdown. So that's how that works. Medications are only temporary, right? What's going to help is not ramping up the signal to the point where it is too strong, right, for people's aerials en masse. We've seen mental, I can look at the data, there'll be a ramp up between the signals that have been put out and a ramp up in the mental perception of mental illness. So there's people out there, these stats, have a look at that, have a look at the trends, right? The patterns. Very important. Also, if you are or know somebody who's who you would perceive as having a mental illness, probably better than temporary medication to try and, you know, make aerial a little bit stronger. A bit like Bill and Ted putting chewing gum on the top of the aerial, on top of the phone box. Reduce the signals. Turn the internet off at night when you go to sleep. Not so much usage of technology and electrical devices in general. So have a look at that, right? It's something to consider on an individual basis, but en masse we are heading towards a place where the signal is going to be stronger, right, than the aerials that can deal with it. So you're going to, if we carry on this way, see, we still have a choice to manage it at this point, right? And we can save a lot of people, and we can become far more aware, and our well-being will be far better for more people. Be aware. Have a think about this. Watch this video again. It'll make sense. Although, you know, limit your technology, but yeah, the aerial, internal structure, right, medication, it's like bubble gum on the, you know, trying to keep metal together.